Hi, I'm Shoestring J and welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things thrifty, frugal and money saving. And I like to put the emphasis on being a bit less wasteful and more sustainable. And today I've got a little project I'm going to do, which I think kind of fulfills both of those briefs, being sustainable and being a bit more frugal. And that is using this marmalade kit, Marmalade Thin Cut by Robertson's. And it's basically the Seville oranges all prepared for you, so you don't have to do them. And I have made marmalade once before. I make jam quite a lot, and jellies, but I've only made marmalade once before. And the reason I never made it again, I think, was because I couldn't get the peel thin enough. I just didn't have the right kind of tool to make it thin enough. And it was a bit too chunky and it was therefore a little bit bitter. So it put me off. That was a long time ago though. And then I saw this and I thought, do you know, I could do that, couldn't I? I could make, it says it makes £6. Lots of you in the comments when I mentioned this in my shopping haul said that you'd used it and it was very good. Everybody was totally positive. Some of you said they use less sugar. Somebody suggested a dash of whiskey. Somebody used less water, that kind of thing. But somebody did say it only makes 4 jars of marmalade. Well, I will see. Let's see. Because with all those adaptations, I'm not going to do any adaptations. I'm going to follow the instructions to the letter and just see. I've got 6 jars ready. So I've been soaking the labels off. And that's the other thing, you know, I'm recycling and reusing jars. I'm not buying marmalade in more jars. I do have this one can, but this is easily recyclable. And it cost me £2.60 for this. Even if it just makes 4 jars of really good marmalade, I think that's pretty much saving. I mean, I was trying to think how much a good jar of marmalade is. Probably £1.50, is it? Anyway, we'll see how many jars it does make. So I got 6 ready. And me and Justin both really like marmalade on toast. So we haven't had any for a while. I've been trying to use up my stocks of jam. So yeah, it'll be good. Anyway, here we go. This is what we do with this. I've got my big old preserving pan at the ready. I don't know what I did in this last time, but whatever it was, it stained it. I think it was red currant jelly, but I don't remember it staining it normally. So anyway, it might have been a chutney actually. I have a lot of sugar in my store, so it's as well to use it and get some more. So this is £4 or 1.8 kilograms of sugar going in. That's a lot of sugar. That is a lot of sugar. I can only just fit that amount on my scales. There you go. So maybe I would reduce it next time, I don't know. Let's open this anyway. So the instructions before I open it are to empty the contents into a large pot, which I've got, stir in 4 pounds of sugar, and 425 millilitres or 3/4 of a pint of water. It says use the measure mark on the side of the can, which I haven't done, I've just got a jug. And then you bring it to the boil. So, here we go. See what it looks like inside. Ooh, what a lovely gooey mess. Let me show you that. It looks like a can of carrot soup. It smells lovely actually. It smells lovely. I love the smell of oranges or lemons. Splodging that in. And the good thing is it comes with pectin already added, so you know it's going to set. Gosh, this is so easy. It seems so easy. Normally it's quite a faff making preserves. And so where would the measure be? Oh yeah, 3/4 of a pint. It's on the outside. Let's see if this agrees with their measurement. Yeah, pretty much. So add the water. Give that a good stir. Now I've got to add this mountain of sugar. My God, that is such a lot of sugar. I wonder if this will be too sweet. I think the hardest part of this process is going to be getting the labels off the jars. So while this is boiling away, I'm going to be doing that. And then I'll sterilise the jars. I usually sterilise them by literally just soaking them in boiling water, and that usually works for me. I know some people do all sorts of weird stuff, and then I keep them warm on a low oven. Okay, I think that's ready. Let's put that on the stove. So I find soaking jars, kind of peeling the label off with a knife, and then using a bit of wire wool will do the trick. Get all of the label off. You get the odd one that's really, really tough, and I find a little bit of oil will remove the rest of the sticky stuff. Yeah. I need to bring this to the boil and continuously stirring. I've been cheating a bit and going off and doing a label and then coming back and doing a bit more stirring, and that seems to be working fine. It has yet to come to the boil, but it shouldn't be much longer. I can feel that the sugar has stopped being kind of crunchy underneath now, so it has mostly dissolved. So just at the point where we've got the rolling boil, I'm going to add a knob of butter, which helps disperse the foam so you don't lose as much marmalade. So I've got to leave that a rolling boil for 15 minutes. Okay, so while that is bubbling away, I'll show you a few other frugal things and little bits of cooking that I've done this week to save money on my no spend January. So I'm still in the process of using stuff up. This has been in the freezer for way too long, probably a year, so it really does need using. The apples are from Justin's mum's tree, also need using. So I thought, why not? Apple turnovers. So I've made some of them. Got a bit of demerara sugar just to sprinkle on top. That's one thing, so I'm using up apples and pastry there. And over here, turn the light on, I've got the last of the parsnips. I'm finally making a soup. So the last of the parsnips and more of the apples, which I've made apple and parsnip soup. So that's nearly done, nearly ready. I've got to put some milk in there and some seasoning, but that's almost done. So I'm going to have some of that for my lunch. So using stuff up. Here they are, ready to go in the oven, but I've got to take the dog out for a walk first. How weird is this? I just picked this up from outside a neighbour's house. It was a free one. And I was looking at it thinking, oh, that's got a J on the back. And I've got a really similar jug, which was made by my old friend Joff, who I haven't seen for a long time. He moved to France to be a potter. But how similar are they? And I actually had a little thought, oh my God, wouldn't it be weird if that J was his? But then I've just looked, and he has a signature which actually says Joff, which is quite different. And then I looked at this one a bit more closely, and I can see it says Dersingham Pottery. And I've just looked that up, and it's a lady who's called June, so the J must be for her, in King's Lynn in Norfolk. But isn't that nice? They go together. I don't quite know what the little pinch is. It's there for a reason, isn't it? It doesn't quite make a pouring sound, it just makes a nice shape. But how cute is that? Apple turnovers look good. I think I slightly overfilled that one because it's kind of come out the size. That one has a little bit as well. I did try not to do that, but hopefully they won't be soggy. It'll be okay. It'll be nice with a bit of custard later. The oven is still on. Whilst it was on, I put Archie's chicken in to roast. Honestly, such a spoiled brat. So he's got roast chicken. I thought, well, I'm using the energy, but it needs another sort of 5-10 minutes anyway. Here we are. The parsnip soup. Milk's been added. And it tastes delicious. I'm going to have some of that for my lunch. It's really nice. Delicious. Anyway, back to the marmalade. So that's 15 minutes. So at this point I'm just testing for set. Already feels quite jellyish actually. Just put that in the fridge and see if it wrinkles in a couple of minutes. Yeah, see that's wrinkling and I can see that setting, so I'm not going to boil that anymore. A little taste. It's definitely marmalade. It is quite sweet, but it's nice, it's marmalade. Somewhat annoyingly, I cannot find my jam funnel. It's disappeared off the face of the earth along with a little tin full of labels, and little parchment circles to go on top. So I'm going to have to, I haven't got time to look for those, so I'm going to do it this way. Just use a jug. I think there's going to be more than, I'm going to need more than 6, I think. We'll see. I have to rush off and sterilise some more jars. Okay. But I guess I might, like other people mentioned in the comments, end up, if I'd make this again, kind of adapting slightly, you know, adding things and taking things away. Gosh, very satisfying making preserves. I had to scoop all of the foam off, I forgot to mention that. So you do lose a bit of jam or marmalade because you do have to scoop that off. There's no getting away from it. Let's put this the right way around. Hold the handle. I'm definitely going to need more jars. So there you go, I think I'm going to need probably 2 more jars. It might not make 2 whole jars. Maybe 1 big jar, see what I've got. But anyway, I'm pleased with that. I'm going to just leave those to cool a minute and go and find another jar. So I actually made 7 jars plus a little extra, and that jar's got a hole in the lid, so that will just go in the fridge anyway. So these will do, this will be fine. I'm very, very pleased with the number of jars of marmalade I've got for that price. I think that's an absolute bargain. So I've just worked out that the cost of the orange marmalade kit as well as the sugar means that that cost about 63p a jar. I didn't count the little tiny bit of extra. So 63p a jar. Then I started looking at the Aldi website, and they don't have Seville orange marmalade, but just their bog standard marmalade was only 79p a jar anyway. So that doesn't look like much of a saving, doesn't it? But when I looked on the Sainsbury's website and specifically looked at Seville marmalade, that did cost quite a lot more. My initial guesstimate of £1.50 a jar was about right for one of the cheaper ones. You could actually pay up to £3 for a jar of Seville marmalade. Whether the marmalade that I have made using this marmalade kit is the same quality as that, I don't know. I can't say until I've tried it. It's still settings. I haven't tried it. But I still think, A, that's a saving in terms of money, and B, that's a lot less packaging. So I've reused my jars, as I said at the beginning. I do have that can, that big can. I actually could use that can. I was thinking about this afterwards and thinking, if I punched holes in the bottom, that would be quite a nice little pot outside, a bit quirky. So I'm going to keep hold of that and drill some holes or knock some holes in the bottom and maybe plant something in that. So then I'm reusing the jar as well. So let me know what you think about that idea. Anyway, that's the marmalade making and some of the other little frugal bits and pieces I've done this week. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.